everyone, how are you doing today? My name is Dr. Iyabo. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm the Money to Honey coach. I hope you're all doing well today. The topic of this video again was a request from one of my faithful YouTube viewers. I'm so glad that you guys are bringing in the questions. If you follow me on Instagram, please feel free to message me with any YouTube topics that you'd like me to talk about, or you can even just post it in the comments below. You guys know how to find me. Message me via my DM on Instagram, send me a message via my website. Just let me know what you would like me to discuss. And I love today's topic. Today's topic is societal pressure on women to get married and to have kids, usually below the age of 30. And honestly, it is definitely a topic that needs to be discussed. So here we are, we're going to dive right in today. Here we go. Hi folks, welcome back. Okay, so how to deal with the societal pressure on women to get married and to have kids before they strike 30, right? We all know as women, it's in all cultures. Honestly, this is not just in the African culture, it is a worldwide human culture where there's so much pressure on women all over the world that they should get married by 23 or 25 or definitely by 28, be happily married with their prince, have 2 to 4 kids, live happily ever after, and everything will be fine. But does it usually happen that way? It does for some people, but it's not that rosy. And I feel like I'm the perfect woman, honestly, to talk about this to women and to talk about it in general to people, because I have been through the stages of life. I did get married at age 25. I met my ex when I was 17. Okay, do the math. We met in medical school when I was 17. I got married at the age of 25. So we were together for 8 years, exclusive, at least on my part, I was exclusive. And then we got married and we were together till just right before my 40th birthday when I filed for divorce. So I was with him basically for 23 years of my life. I'm not saying they were all bad 23 years. Obviously, while we were dating, we had a good time. It's always nice, right, before marriage. And I'm not saying marriage sucks. I'm happily married now. And I'm faithful, and I believe that my marriage is going to continue to be happy. Why? Because I have gained a lot of wisdom in life. I have learned a lot of things, and I know, how marriage goes and the things to contribute on my own end. And I also did my due diligence before getting married. I knew exactly what I wanted and what I didn't want, and I didn't settle for less. But at 17, how would I have known all that? I didn't know anything. I was still a baby. My brain wasn't even fully developed. You all know that biologically, our brain isn't fully developed until we're 26. So there you go. So that was my story. And then I was divorced for 10 years. You guys know my story. And if you don't, this is my story for you. Then I was divorced for 10 years and I got remarried last year, just right before my 50th birthday. So if anyone was to discuss this topic, it would be me to let you know how it goes. So first of all, I want to say this, to shout it out to all men and all women all over the world. It is not your business, okay? It is not your business if a woman hasn't gotten married and you expect her to have gotten married by a certain age. It is none of your business if a woman doesn't have kids. Stop pressuring women and stop asking them, when are you going to get married? When are you going to get married? When are you going to get kids? Okay, please stop doing that, because I'm telling you, you should know that you're not the only one asking them that question. A lot of other people are probably asking them that same question. They are probably sick and tired of hearing it, right? They probably don't want to hear it anymore. So just please, guys, stop asking women that question and stop asking them when they're having kids. Okay, many people are asking them, so don't be an extra person. Their mom and dad are probably asking, aunties, uncles, neighbors, colleagues. It's none of your business. That's number one. Number two that I wanted to say before I continue is, I follow the word. I'm a Christian. I'm very particular about reading the Bible and seeing what God has to say. Okay, I haven't seen anywhere in the Bible where it says that your purpose in life is for you to go and get married and to have kids. Honestly, I haven't seen it. Okay, somebody has to show that to me. Yes, the Bible does talk about marriage being a good thing, about finding a good wife is a good thing, and all of those things. But I haven't seen any Bible verse where it says that anybody's purpose is to go forth into the earth, get married, and have kids. I haven't seen it there. So I wanted to say those two things out. And for me, life as a human being, the most important thing is living in your purpose. Okay, so marriage and having kids is not part of your purpose. So let's just get those two things right before we go on. So the first thing then now let's just dive into this. Okay, and this is all my opinions, my thoughts. Some of them may be backed with statistics, but this video is basically just my personal opinion and my personal wisdom that I'm sharing with women and men or whoever is watching this video. Okay, remember that there are many married women who are miserable, depressed, and hate their marriages. They just don't know how to live, and they feel trapped. They cry themselves to sleep every night. They have terrible marriages. Their husbands treat them badly. Some of them even get killed in those marriages. I'm sure you've heard of a few women in your radar that you've heard of that were killed by domestic violence by their own husbands. Okay, so there are many married women who are miserable. Okay, I was one of them, and that's why I filed for divorce, right? There are also many single women who are miserable. Okay, but if a woman was to choose her miserable, at least for me, if I looked at, there were times during my single life, during my 10 divorced years, that I would feel a little bit lonely and just feel like, oh, when is this man going to come? Or I would cry myself to sleep once in a while. But for the most part, I enjoyed my 10 single years. I'm telling you, you guys who know me, who've been following me on Facebook for a while and now on Instagram, I traveled the world with my daughters and I enjoyed myself, right? I enjoyed myself, and I grew my practice. I was able to focus squarely on my practice. My practice became 7 figures during my divorce. I just flourished. I was at my lowest, fittest weight during my divorce. I had time to do Pilates and bar and all of that. I was able to employ people into my office. I started blogging. I started writing. I spoke at the United Nations 3 times. I aged backwards. People thought I was in my 20s and 30s. Life was great for me. So if I was to choose which miserable I would have liked, I would have preferred being miserable during my single years rather than being miserable under the power of some human being who isn't worth your entire life. You guys have to remember that there are many married women who are not happy. Again, there are many married women who are happy. I'm not trying to paint marriage bad, but I'm warming you guys up so that you guys will understand that being married is not equal to happiness. Okay, so those of you who are stressing women out, societal pressure, asking women, when are you getting married? When are you having kids? Getting married and having kids is not anybody's life purpose. Okay, it's not your life purpose. Yes, if you get married to your true soulmate and to a good high quality man, he will bring joy and laughter and good partnership and peace and purpose and growth and happiness to your life. But if you make a mistake and you fall to societal pressure and you marry the wrong man for you, you're going to experience hell on earth. I'm just telling you, I've been there. So which miserable would you choose? Would you rather be single and be a little miserable in your own household where you can manage yourself and manage your schedule and manage your time? I would choose that miserable 1,000 times. Yes, was I miserable once in a while during my 10 years? Yeah. There were times I would be lonely, like Christmas time. I would be like, when am I going to get a husband, or Valentine's Day, things like that. But for the most part, I was happy and I was rocking my single years. So I hope you get that whole preamble. Okay, so we stop thinking that marriage and having kids equals happiness or it equals purpose. It does not. It may add to your purpose in life. It may add to your happiness and to your forward movement and to being able to achieve God's assignments on this earth. But getting married and having kids is nobody's purpose. So we need to share this video with people because I really want to get this into people's mentality, okay? And maybe this will stop you guys from putting so much pressure on women that they have to do this by this age. Or when I talk to my daughters, yes, once in a while I ask my older daughter, who's your boyfriend, are you dating? But I don't pressure her into it. But I do remind her about her work and her purpose, okay? How's your job going? Are you enjoying it? Whose lives are you impacting? You know, she'll tell me, oh, I've been promoted to this, to the manager, I'm helping people. That's what I want to hear. Are they building their future? Are they building their purpose work? That's what I want to hear. I'm not going to force any of my daughters or pressure them to get married if they are not ready. Whichever one wants to marry early should marry early. If they want to marry late, they should marry late. If they never want to get married, that's fine. But I will make sure or keep reminding them about their purpose because that's where they're going to find happiness. So I hope that that part of what I just said made some sense to you guys, okay? The worth and value of a woman is not based on her marital status or whether she has kids or not. The worth and the value of a woman is based on whether she's living in her purpose-driven life, whether she's using her gifts and talents that God gave her to impact lives and to impact herself and to live a fulfilling, flourishing, meaningful life. You don't have to be married and have kids to have a meaningful life. So how about we shift the narrative and we start asking women if they're living meaningful lives? How about that? Or if they haven't forgotten their purpose, who asks women that? I do it. You can read all my posts on Instagram and even all my videos here on YouTube. That is me. I want to remind women that their purpose is their God-given assignment on this earth. And it is while you're living in your purpose, while you're living in your God-given assignments, that the good man will come. If you're hyper-focused on finding the good man, he's not going to come. You're going to keep attracting jerks because you're going to have the spirit of desperation. I've told you guys about the spirit of desperation. It is a very bad spirit to have because you're going to attract jerks. They're going to see that you're desperate. They'll treat you anyhow. They'll ghost you. They'll lie to you. They're going to marry you, but they will just be using you for sex and for attention and for all of that. So purpose is where happiness, peace, fulfillment lies. If you can start living in your purpose, and if you, all the people out there, those of you who are asking women every day and putting societal pressure on women, how about you start asking them, hey girl, are you living a meaningful life? Have you discovered your gifts and talents? Have you discovered your purpose in life? Better chase your purpose first. Start doing your purpose work, because once you start doing that, that's where the good man will come. There's no rush to get a good man. There's no rush to have kids. How about we change the narrative? I challenge each and every one of you watching this video to change the narrative, and you'll see how that will help women. Because women have way too much pressure to be married and to have kids. Yes, it is, marriage can be beautiful, but only if it is with the right person. And you will not find the right person if you don't know who you are. And you can't find out who you are if you are not living in your purpose. If you're just waiting for a man to give you security, to give you a house to live in, to give you money, to give you this, to give you that, so that you can be a Mrs. somebody, that is not life purpose. That is not what you should be fighting for and looking for in life. What you should be looking for is, how am I going to get into my purpose work? Which lives am I going to impacting? These lovely gifts, wonderful gifts God gave me, whose lives can I use them to impact? When you're living strongly and solidly in your purpose, that's where the man or the woman will come, okay? So this video is not even just for women or men, but basically, I guess I'm taking it too far now. Let's focus on, no, once I get into my passion, once I start talking about purpose, that's me. That's me. I'm very passionate about people finding their purpose. So that's why I loved this topic, because society is too much about show me, how does she look? She's not a missy, she's single. Nobody defines my life for me. I define my own life. So people who are asking women, let women start to define their own lives themselves. Do you know that there's some women who never want to get married? Do you know there's some who don't want to have kids, or maybe they don't want to have kids of their own, they want to adopt kids? Do you know that those women exist? That's their choice, okay? It doesn't mean that they're less in God's eyes. God loves everybody equally. He loves the divorced woman. He loves the married woman, the single woman. He loves all of us. But you know what? He really admires us, okay? He admires us a lot if we come to this earth and we live out his assignments. If we're living out his purpose, if we're living out what he sent us here to do, to make other people's lives better, as well as make our own lives better. He wants us to impact lives with the gifts and talents he has given us. And by so doing, he knows that we are going to also have fulfillment and peace and happiness from doing that. So, guys, please, let's stop asking women that question. I challenge everybody here. If you see a 26-year-old woman, rather than asking her, don't you have a boyfriend? When are you going to get married? Start asking her, have you discovered your purpose work? Do you know what your gifts and talents are? Have you started using those to start to make a difference in your life and in other people's lives? Do you know that you have an assignment on this earth? Are you living in that assignment? How about we start asking women that question rather than putting pressure on them? When are they getting married? When are they having kids? Having kids is really lovely. Kids are a wonderful gift, but it's the hardest thing to do. Parenting is not a joke. Parenting is not for the feeble-minded. So if we just start putting pressure on women to meet men to have kids, that's why there's also so many kids who are troubled, because there's some men and women who are not even psychologically able to parent. Okay, I'm a pediatrician. I've seen so many kids being born, and when some of those women get pregnant, I just start shaking my head in secret and thinking it's only God's miracle that can help this child live a meaningful life. Because if you even look at the women, it's like the teenagers, the 13, 14, 16-year-olds who are getting pregnant, who don't even know what their own life is about, bringing forth kids. The teenager or the person who made them pregnant is nowhere to be found, or he could be in jail, or he's in, it is just a mess. So why are we putting pressure on women to have kids? Having kids is wonderful, but once they're born, they need solid parenting. Parenting is not an easy thing. That's why there's so many disordered people in the world. There's so much mental health issues because of the lags in parenting, because even the parents themselves still need parents. So, life is all about purpose. If all of us can decide that we're going to start asking each other if we found our purpose, life would be so much better, rather than asking a question that doesn't even matter. Why do you have to ask a woman when she's going to? Yes, women know. You don't have to ask them. They already know their biological clock is ticking. So they don't need you to ask them. They already know. Their mother is probably texting or calling them every day and saying, has he proposed? Have you found the man? Have you? So they don't need you to remind them. And it's not every woman who's going to have their own kid. Some people have been put on this earth to adopt other people's kids. I hope you know that. So please, let's stop asking those questions. And then the pressure doesn't just exist. The pressure even gets more complicated. Aside from the pressure being age related, it's also race and ethnic group related. Women are not just pressured to get married to anyone. They're pressured to even marry a certain kind of man. In my country, you'll have people from one tribe being pressured to only marry people from their tribe. They can't marry, if you're Yoruba, you can't marry Igbo. If you're Igbo, you can't marry Hausa. Or now that I live in the United States, in the south of the United States, it's like, oh, you're a black woman married to a white woman. Oh gosh, couldn't you find a black man? Or vice versa. Oh, what? It's like there's so much pressure to do things that are right in the eyes of society. Guys, I've told you guys about pack mentality. Pack mentality and thinking like the rest of the world is going to draw you back. Okay, it's going to draw you back. So for women who are being pressured by people who are asking them about husband or kids, the next time anybody asks you that, what you should tell them is, could you please stop asking me that question? Rather, I would prefer that you start reminding me about making sure that I'm living in my purpose. I want you guys to start replying them with that question. It will completely stop them in their tracks. And if they're saying, what do you mean? Tell them that your purpose is not getting married and having kids. And it's not, if you feel that saying none of their business is rude, just tell them and say, I'm sorry, but do you mind not asking me that question anymore? Because right now I'm focused on my purpose. I would really appreciate it more if you can actually remind me about my purpose. Or, you can call me every few weeks or once a month and remind me and say, Mary, are you still living in your purpose? Have you discovered your purpose? Are you using your gifts to impact lives? Because that's a more sensible question, and that is what is actually in the Bible, and that's what we need to focus on. So start replying them with that question, and it will make them think. And I also, I challenge everybody watching this video to share this video with 5 to 10 other people so we can change the narrative. Because being a Mrs. or being somebody's wife or having 4 kids and living in the perfect mansion with 1 dog and 2 cats is not the perfect life. It's not. If you want to live close to a perfect life, you figure out your gifts and talents and you use that to live your purpose every day. That is what living close, again, no human can live a perfect life, but if you want as perfect as possible, that's where you need to get to. You need to find your purpose work and live it every day. And I've told you guys over and over, it is while you're living in your purpose work that the guy will show up. I'm telling you that, and it's going to be a high quality man. Mark my words. But the more you're focused on meeting him, the more you're going to have a spirit of desperation. Okay, so the pressure is not even just age related. It's not just, have you had kids? The pressure is also, why are you with this man? Didn't you find it? The pressure is also, every black woman wants to meet their tall, dark, handsome black man. I mean, not every, but most. Most don't even want to think about the idea of maybe opening up their minds to a Caucasian man, to an Asian man, to just any man, as long as he's a high quality man, he has a good heart and will treat them well. There's also this big pressure of he has to be a certain skin tone, or he has to, it's too much, guys. It's too much. We need to just really calm down and start living in our purpose, okay? Because again, happiness comes from a purpose-driven life. So that is all I really wanted to talk about here. I want to challenge the 2 groups of people, okay? Those of you, again, it's usually people who themselves have insecurities, okay? I know the kind of women who go to other women and start asking them, hey, you're married? When are you going to find a husband? You're turning 27 in a few days. What? You're not married? You don't have kids. When are you going to find him? Your biological clock is ticking. Those are women with insecurities. They are the ones who quickly want to exaggerate what they think you don't have so as to hide their own insecurities. I know those kinds of women. I can smell them from 10 yards away. They have their own things that they are not happy about. They're living miserable lives, so they quickly want to exaggerate your things that they think you don't have. Don't listen to them. The next time they come to you, just say, please don't ask me that question anymore. With a smile on your face, say, you know what? Why don't you just ask me and remind me about my purpose? Just ask me, remind me that I should be living in my purpose. I should be using my talents to live in my purpose. That's how you should answer them. And then for the rest of the world, men and women from every color, every country, let us stop the societal pressure for women to get married and to have kids. Because first of all, it's not every woman who wants to get married. It's not every woman who wants to have kids. And for the ones who do want to get married and have kids, there are already enough people asking them. They already know. So rather than bringing it up, just meet them with love. Okay? And if you feel you have to ask them a question about purpose. Because you should know in your heart that if this woman is living in her purpose, she will soon find a good man. Okay? But if she's obsessed and hyper-focused on finding a man, she will not find a good man. So rather than bringing up the delicate, sensitive part of the talk that doesn't even make sense, because getting married and having kids is not your purpose or your assignment in this world. So if you really want to help the sister that you feel hasn't gotten married, ask her about her purpose. Just ask her that, have you found a coach like Dr. Iyabo to help you figure out your gifts and talents so you can start living in your purpose? Have you started that business that you've been thinking of, that you want to start, that will impact lives and help people? Start focusing on meaningful things and asking women those questions, okay? So those are the thoughts, and I hope that the person who asked for this video, I hope this helps, because this for me is the dimension I'm going to take it. It's the dimension, because for me, where everybody is going to find their happiness is by living in their purpose. If you make your purpose in life searching for a husband, by all means, you're going to attract a low quality man, a man who's going to abuse you, mistreat you, not treat you well, okay? And you're just going to be in hell for the rest of your life. So this is also calling out all those married women who feel like they're trapped forever. Unless he's really holding you captive or he's tying you down, you can leave and restart your life and really begin to live in your purpose and live your very best life. So I hope this helped. Okay, this is how to deal with the societal pressure of getting married and having kids. For the people who are being asked the question, tell them back that they should instead ask you about your purpose. And for the ones who are asking these women the question, I hope I have talked some common sense into you. Those of you who are asking people that question, you are insecure. That's why you're asking that question. So rather than asking them what is none of your business, because whether they want to get married or have kids is none of your business. That's a personal issue. And it's not 100% you must have that to be able to find happiness or peace or fulfillment. However, the 100% thing that we all need to find happiness and peace and fulfillment is a purpose-driven life. So instead, ask women that question. That's what they need you to ask them about. I hope this confirms and concludes how we all need to change our mindset and our narrative about this societal pressure, because it is making a lot of women depressed and have really bad mental health issues. So we need to stop it, okay? We need to stop it. I hope this helped, okay? If it helped, you know what I'm going to say. Hit the subscribe button now. If you haven't subscribed to my channel and you just go back and forth to watch my videos, I don't know what you're waiting for. And make sure you share this video with men and women. I really want many people to watch this video because it's a really important one. And send me a DM on Instagram. Let me know what topics you'd like me to discuss, or go to my website, driyabo.com. And also on my website, you can sign up for my coaching. I'm a dating coach, I'm a business coach, and a lifestyle coach. I'm your money to honey coach. So like this video, comment below, let me know what your thoughts are about societal pressure, and let me know some other ways that we can all reduce this societal pressure on women to get married and to have kids. I hope this helped. I love you all. I'll see you next time on my next video. Bye-bye.